All right, you're going to click here. And remember, that's going to go to your downloads. And then you're going to open it. And the very first thing you're going to do is save it. So you're going to go to File, Save As, and you're going to click your OneDrive. And so that way it's not confusing between the one that I gave you and the one that you are saving. Make sure you add your initials to the beginning and then go to your computers folder and hit save. All right, we're going to make this bigger. Having some problems with this program, so I'm going to do my best here. This video recording program, I'm going to do my best here. And then I'm going to zoom in so you can see. All right. Right now, we want to first kind of get those border lines on there so we can see kind of how Excel prints. So even though you see those grid lines on your screen, they don't print. They're called non-printables. So here, if I just go to page layout, just go to page setup, and then click OK. It puts these dotted lines here between F and G, and that's where my page would cut off. So this would be page 1, page 2, and same thing down here at the bottom. So even though I've renamed these sheets, but even though they're named sheets, it doesn't print. That doesn't mean it prints on one sheet of paper. So actually our first sheet ends, must have missed it, here, between 48 and 49. So that is one thing that's nice about Excel if you're trying to make like a banner or a big poster to hang up. You can, it'll print over and down, so it'll print something wide and long versus like Word. All right, so we're going to change the font for the whole sheet. So this is our select all button, so we're going to click here between A and 1. And then in our home ribbon, we're just going to choose, you're going to have to scroll down to the F, so we're going to choose Franklin Gothic Book. So recognize on a PC, so if you open this on a PC, it would open in this font as well. All right, and then we're going to set the title so that it centers across our section A1 through F1. So to do that, we're going to hover our mouse in A1 and click, and then we're going to drag to F1. Okay, if you double click and try and drag, it's just going to select text. So you got to make sure you just press and hold one time and drag to F there. Way. We want to click merge and center, and we want to bold that, make it size 18 there. All right, when we merged and centered, what we did was we took those 6 cells and merged them into one big cell, and then we centered the text. So that's going to be different than what we're going to do here. We're going to take these 6 separate cells, so we're going to select A2 through F2. So same thing, put your cursor in the middle of A2, press and drag to F2, and we're going to center them individually. So within their cell, we're also going to bold them. We're going to fill them black, change the font color to white, and make them size 12. Now, right now, nothing is getting cut off. You can see all of our column headings, but we're going to fix this one where it says number theaters, because you guys won't always read that as a number sign. So we're going to go here, up here to our formula bar, and select the number sign. Now, if I don't get a blinking cursor, if I just click in the cell and start typing, it just over types. So I want to go up here, select the number sign, and type number of space. And then remember, we always seal it in when we're working in Excel by pressing enter. We want to get in that habit of not clicking into a different cell. Press enter to seal it. Okay, now it says number of feet. Okay, that's not good. So, but if I make that cell bigger, those numbers aren't going to be that big. So I don't need that cell to be that big. So do this with me. If I go up here and hover my mouse between E and F and double click, now I can see number of theaters. But that makes that cell super big. And also here, it pops percent of total onto a new page. So I'm going to go up here and undo that, or Command Z. I'm going to click right here where it says number of threads, and you don't need to select this. I'm just going to do this to both of them so you can see the difference. So total gross, nothing is going to happen to it because it doesn't need to be wrapped. It's not hitting the end of the cell yet, but I do need to wrap number of theaters. So I'm going to go up here and click wrap text, and now number of and theaters is in the same cells. All right, so now we're going to select A2 through F2. And so right now it's centered left and right. So it's centered horizontally, and we want to center it vertically, so up and down. So we're going to go and click here. All right, great job. Okay, we want to, we did not give these ranks, so we're going to number these 1 to 15, but we want Excel to do as much work for us as possible. So I'm going to hit 1, enter, 2, enter. So I'm telling Excel how to count for me right now by telling it that I want to count it by 1. So I'm going to select it, then hover my mouse in this lower right hand corner. Select 1, 2, hover my mouse in this lower right hand corner, click, and I'm going to drag down 1 past the Wolverine. All right. Remember, that's your fill handle. So let me do that again. If you got it, great. So I selected 1 and 2, put my cursor down in the lower right-hand corner of 2, pressed and held to say, hey, that's what I want to do. I want to use that fill handle, and drag till it said 15. All right, so we made a mistake when typing in the movies here is I left out a movie title. So what I want to do is I essentially want to cut the Grown-Ups and the Wolverine and paste it into B16 and B17. So I'm going to hover my mouse in the middle of Grown-Ups 2 and in the middle of B15 and drag to B16. Then I'm going to put my cursor on the outer edge here of those 2 cells of that green border. I get a hand, and I'm going to click and drag it down 1. All right, I'm going to click here and type The Conjuring. Now watch, when I start typing the C and the C, it's going to say, hey, do you want to type the Croods again? No. If I wanted to, I would just press enter, but I don't. Okay, so then I press enter. All right, I need to fix how I spell Despicable Me. So again, if I just click in the cell and start typing, it's going to overtype. I want to just change 1 letter. So I'm going to select the I in the formula bar, and I'm going to overtype over. So I'm just going to type E. So that way I don't have to hit backspace or whatever, delete. I can just select it, type over it, and it inserts it in its place there. All right, now we need to make these numbers look a little bit better. So first we want the total gross to look like a amount in money. So we're going to select D3 through D17. So we're going to click this right here. Now this is what we call accounting number format. Okay, so right now we see these number signs. So basically what that means is your number is too big for the cell. So look, if I make C smaller and I see Buena Vista or Warner, like it's cutting off the R, like I can tell that that word is being cut off. Numbers you can't always tell, and there's a big difference between 60 and 6,000 or whatever. So it's just saying, hey, these numbers are too big. Because if I hover my mouse in that cell, it should tell you the amount. Well, it's not giving you like invalid. On your PC it will. It'll tell you how much, like what the number is in the cell. And up here in the formula bar, it gives you a number as well. Okay, so the way to fix that, to remedy it, is to hover your mouse between D and E and double click. All right, part of the problem is, so what that did when we add a counting number format is it adds a $sign to the left of the cell. So your $signs will always be on the left. There's another way if you want your $sign to be connected to the number, and that you would go up here and change that to currency. So it connects the $sign. Then it also adds your commas, a decimal, and 2 decimal points. Now, I'm going to keep those selected, and I'm going to go up here and I'm going to decrease my decimal twice. Then I'm going to double click between D and E, and now it kind of puts those numbers together and gets rid of those 2 decimals. But now all of our commas and stuff are in alignment and our $signs are in alignment. Okay, for number of theaters, this is just a number, so we don't want the $sign, but we do want the comma. So we want the numbers to look similar, or we want them to add the comma for us. So we're going to select E3 through E17. And again, when we click comma, it's going to automatically give us those 2 decimal points. The way to fix that is to just go up here and decrease your decimals twice. Okay. Same thing here for percent of total. All right, so if you notice here too, when we popped number of theaters, or our total gross, now we're into F, so we're going to need to fix this a little bit. So for our percent of total, we want to make these look like a percent. But if I just typed 100%, then if this were a formula, it would mess all that up. So I'm going to click in those cells, and I'm going to go up here and click percent style, and then increase my decimal once. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click between B and C, and I'm just going to move that line closer to B, so that way percent of total gets put back on that first page there for me, and the dotted line is now on the right of column F. All right, so right now our sheet is by rank. So obviously it got the #1 rank because it grossed the most, and it obviously there too played in the largest number of theaters there. So but now we want to organize it by studio. So we want to select A2 through F17. Okay, and we're going to go up here to sort and filter. We're going to say custom sort. All right, so we want to sort by studio because we right here. So it says sort by what? Studio, values from A to Z. So what that will do is it will put all of our Buena Vistas and all of our Warner Brothers and stuff like that together. So I'm going to click OK.